With Pesach almost upon us, we await the day that we can bring the Korban Pesach in the Vesameach. The Gemara in Pesachim Samachayim and Beis describes how the blood in the Vesameach would run almost up to the knees of the Kohanim. And every year as we lean the Parshios of Sefer Vayikra, it is inevitably brought up in the cybersphere and in other printed works. The question of why does the Torah, and thus Hashem, value animal sacrifice? Inevitably, Rav Hirsch's intricate and pragmatic approach to Sefer Vayikra is invoked. Through the use of intricate symbolism, explaining Sefer Vayikra down to the smallest minute detail, Rav Hirsch explains Korbanos. Famously points out that there is no word in the Western language for korban, which means to come close, not sacrifice, not even offering, but to come close. And if we can't give up our own physicality, literally, we can at least give up the physicality inherent in an animal and proclaim that physicality without a higher cause is not worth life. Now, Rav Hirsch's pragmatic mahalech, his pragmatic approach, and his use of symbolism is by no means apologetics for our holy Korbanos, and I'll explain. Well, in Rav Hirsch's time, the Reformers also brought up the idea of Korbanos and spoke very disparagingly about the Vesameach, calling it a place of blood cult and blood worship. And Rav Hirsch minced no words in addressing their derision. In fact, he answered them with one biting word. Really? Really, said Rav Hirsch. Really, society, are you going to lecture us on peace and being humane? Oh, society that just emerged from a millennia of the Dark Ages, are you going to teach us about cruelty to animals or what Hashem expects from a human being? In fact, just this week, I heard a beautiful pshat on the Haggadah in the name of the Malbim. The Ben Russia, the wicked son at the Seder, famously asks, Ma ha'avoda hazos lachem? And avoda always means korban. What korban are you bringing? The Malbim essentially puts this question of the Reformers in Rav Hirsch's time into the mouth of the Ben Russia. Why do you have to be old-fashioned with this, pagan type of rite? Come to the modern times. Today we understand more about how to worship a god. So what is the answer that the Ben Russia receives? Mitchila ovdei avodah zara hayu avosenu. We come from idol worshippers. Terach avi Avraham. Case in point, Avram's father was an idol worshipper. But Avraham, well, he was the progressive. He moved us into modern times. And through the light of the Torah, we understand today that the sacrifice or the slaughter of an animal is only worthwhile if it is bringing man to a higher state of affairs. But for a man to live a physical life, well, that doesn't justify the death of another animal. We are the modern ones, and you are stuck in the ages of Terach Avi Avraham. You will sacrifice a korban for eating. But the Torah has told us only to do it in the Vesameach, and only to do it for a higher purpose. An excellent essay on this point can be found here. At the end of every Shmona Esrei, we conclude with the words, V'shamna avodecha b'yirah kimei olam uchshanim kadmonios. Return us to the Vesameach, and there we will serve you, Hashem, with fear. The Maharsha in Brachos points out that we're not saying that there we will serve you with fear, but here we are not serving you with fear. Of course, even in our Galus, we are aiming to serve Hashem with fear and with awe. But we are saying that there we will serve you, avoda, with fear, as opposed to just prayer. The simple meaning of avoda refers to the Korbanos. And so we're saying, Hashem, as much as we can pray to you, we know that what the Torah is asking from us is the korban, the sentiments that only a korban can bring out. I one time did kaparos with a live chicken, and I held it over my head, but it was in Mei Yesharim. And when I finished doing kaparos, I waited online, cuddling the chicken until it was my turn to hand it over to the shochet. Well, after holding it for a couple of minutes, there was a small attachment between myself, and the chicken. This is very different than the experience a city slicker has when he takes something off the shelf in a supermarket. Now that could just be a small example, but imagine the emotions brought out when you bring to Hashem a live animal and you send it out and you are able to return to your life to try and do things better, or to try to realize the inner shlemus that a shlamim, as the Korban Pesach, is meant to elicit from us. That said, V'shamna avodecha b'yira. May we be zocha very soon to bring the Korban Pesach in Yerushalayim, l'shana haba b'Yerushalayim habedunya.
La